talk to you about the causes of postnatal depression. Because if you can understand why something is happening, it puts you in a much stronger position to do something about it. Okay, so postnatal depression is a type of depression that affects between 11 and 20% of new mums. New dads can experience it too, but it's a little bit less common. If you are wondering whether or not you are struggling with postnatal depression, you can check out my IGTV video. I've put the link to my Instagram account in the description. Okay, so there's no single cause for postnatal depression, but there's a number of different risk factors. So I'm going to run through those with you. First of all, biology. Okay, so the biological origins of postnatal depression are relatively unclear, despite a significant amount of research being done in this area. So theories include postpartum dysregulation of the thyroid, sudden hormone changes, problems in the way that the body regulates stress, but the findings here are all pretty contradictory. Okay, the second risk factor for postnatal depression is having a previous mental health problem. So when you have a baby, it leads to a significant change in loads of different areas of your life, from your roles and responsibilities to your daily routine, to your social networks, your relationship with your partner, your relationship with your own parents. These things are transformed in a way that you will never have experienced before, and this can be very destabilising. And any previous unresolved issues may resurface, so things like depression, anxiety, eating disorders, obsessive compulsive disorder, or previous issues in your relationships with friends, families and parents. And all of these things make you vulnerable to postnatal depression. Okay, another risk factor is having low self-esteem. Having a baby is a massive challenge and an ongoing challenge. Being a parent is an ongoing challenge, and one that we have to constantly be negotiating. When you have low self-esteem, you have a tendency to underestimate yourself, to criticise yourself, and to compare yourself negatively with others. And all of these things make you vulnerable to developing postnatal depression. Another risk factor is over-involvement in work. So any imbalance in your life can make you vulnerable to mental health problems, but an overinvestment in work is a really good example here. It can be a problem at any stage in your life, particularly if you're a bit of a perfectionist at work and you're maybe using this as a way of coping with low self-esteem. If you have a baby, you used work as a way of coping with your self-esteem, you're going to find the transition from being a working woman to being at home with a baby quite difficult, because all of a sudden you've lost that one key way, or one of your key ways of supporting your self-esteem, and this is going to make you vulnerable to postnatal depression. Okay, poor body image is another risk factor for postnatal depression. Having a baby, all the physical changes that involves, will be challenging for the most secure and body confident amongst us. But if your self-esteem is very much tied to your body and your weight, you are going to find this much more challenging, and this will make you vulnerable to developing postnatal depression. Finally, your expectations of motherhood are quite important here. Your expectations can very much make you vulnerable to postnatal depression. This is kind of what you hope having a baby will bring for you. And it's human nature to hope that it will bring a positive change, that it will maybe give you a sense of purpose, improve your self-worth, strengthen your relationships. But in reality, having a baby challenges all of these things. And if you're not expecting that, it can lead you to feel like you're doing something wrong, or maybe even that there's something wrong with you. Okay, so if you can identify the cause of your postnatal depression, this will put you in a much stronger position to do something about it, to get the right help and the right treatment. Okay, I hope that this was helpful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.